So I hope that you all will be dedicatedly participating in the session and making it the most productive session for your academic ventures. So without taking much time, I would like to request Dr. Kakisha Khan to lead the program
Okay,
as per
thank you, sir.
schedule. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Very warm good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Kahkasha Khan, on behalf of Humanities and Management Science Department, Madan Mohan Malaviya, University of Technology, welcomes you all in this today's web lecture on topic that is your effective presentation for professional success. I also thank or I'm also thankful to our HOD sir, SN Singh sir, who has given me this opportunity to organize today's web lecture. So today we have with us Dr. Sunitha Venugopal ma'am, who is one of the renowned faculty in English subject in Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. Welcome ma'am, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Uh, Before inviting ma'am, I would like to read her brief profile. That is, Dr. Sunitha Venugopal ma'am presently serves as Senior Assistant Professor in the Department of English, School of Social Sciences and Languages in Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, India. She has 21 years of teaching experience and 72 publications at her credit. Her poems, short stories, translations, articles on English literature and English languages teaching were published in many national and international journals, including that too in Scopus Index Journal. She has published a book at international level. She has foreign research collaboration and published 30 chapters in different anthologies. Her article in the Hindu newspaper won overwhelming response. As a trainer of soft skill, she has designed the content and trained many industry professionals. She has given guest lectures in many prestigious institutions, was a keynote speaker in national as well as international conferences, made paper presentation in many national and international conferences, as well as she has attended 50 training programs, question papers also she has set, and a member of many professional bodies. She has guided MPhil and guiding 6 PhD scholars and adjudicated PhD thesis and has been the board of examiner and doctoral committee member of 2 universities. So without taking much time, I would like to request ma'am to
Thank you,
start her.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful introduction.
Thank you so
So,
much, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
so first of all, I should say thanks to Dr. Sudhir Narayan Singh, HOD of your institute. So he is my mentor, he is my guru, and I have learned a lot from him. And so he was the one who gave me valuable inputs to shape my PhD. So during that time, I was only a scholar. So he was so from since then we have a very cordial and congenial relationship. So I always have gratitude for him. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful introduction. So let me start the
Always
session.
welcome. Always welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
let me share my screen. So, very good afternoon to all of you, dear students. So, today we are going to discuss how we can give effective presentations. So, of course, every one of us give presentations, but as professionals, we are expected to give very effective presentations. So, we should enthrall the audience. We should see to that the audience, even after years, even after months or whatever, whatever you have given, whatever you have delivered in the name of presentation should still stand in their mind. So should be evergreen and everlasting. So today I'm going to inform you, or we are going to have a short discussion on how to give an effective presentation. So first of all, let me yes. So students, I want one or two of you to just unmute and tell me what is this. What is this picture? What is this picture, students?
Team of Sri Lanka.
Very good. Team of Sri Lanka. And these are also team of what? What team?
Pakistan.
Team of Pakistan. Team of
Pakistan.
India.
Yes.
Team of
Australia.
Australia.
Very good.
Cricket team.
They are all cricket teams. So students, please tell me which is the best cricket team according to you?
India.
India.
Okay, Indian team. Indian team.
Australia.
Okay. So okay, well, since most of you have told India, we will take Indian team. So now, what are the remarkable qualities of this Indian team? What are the remarkable qualities of this Indian team? So why do you say Indian team is the best team? I want you to answer, please. What do you find that good qualities? Yes, please tell.
They are playing skill. They are playing skill.
Playing?
Skilled.
Skill. Okay, they are good in cricket, in batting skills or bowling or whatever. Skilled. Very good, Ashutosh. Yes. So what else?
Ma'am, we have a very balanced team. We have a cricketer, which are very good. We have a best bowler also, and best wicket keeper also.
So can we name it as coordination? Coordination, like they are good, balanced, isn't
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
Each one knows one another's potential, right, Avinash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. So coordination, they are very good, highly skilled. What else? What else?
Ma'am, they have more passion for playing
Ashwani,
for their country.
We have a
just a
good
minute.
decision maker, ma'am.
Decision
Yes.
makers. Very good. Very good. Decision makers. So Ashwani, you were about to say something.
Yes, ma'am. We have a like Dhoni. We have a player who takes a very right decision. We have now he's not playing for the team, but he is a mentor of the team, and he used to take the
Very
decision
good.
which is very
So
firmly
very
correct.
good, Ashwani. Very good. So you have spoken about mentorship, decision making skills, and Avinash has spoken good coordination, and Ashutosh says that they are all highly skilled. So can you name all these under one umbrella term?
Ma'am,
What are these
management.
called? Management. These are all
Managerial qualities.
Jyoti. Very good, Jyoti Jaspal. It is nothing but skill.
Devotion to
These are-
play.
Devashish, tell me, Devashish.
Quality.
They
Leadership
have a
qualities.
very good devotions
Very good. They
towards
have
the
very
country.
good leadership. Excellent, excellent. So all these are skills.
Ma'am,
Now, my next,
interpersonal communication skill.
we are not speaking about communication now, so but we are focusing. Very good, Ganesh. I appreciate your response. So, but these are all called as skills. So now, what is a skill? Now, my next question is, what is a skill? I want you to answer. What actually is a skill? We normally come across always skills, skills, skills. So what actually is a skill? How do you define it? Come on, any one of your any of your responses.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
please say.
skill is the ability which we develop, ma'am, through our training and.
Excellent, Srishti. Skill
Thank
is
you,
the
ma'am.
ability that we develop through training. Skill is something that we acquire, that we learn. Every day we learn some skills, isn't it? So maybe it is cooking skills or driving skills, or it is teaching skills, or it's communication skills. All these are skills. So skill is something that we acquire. Okay. So now I want you to distinguish between a talent and skill. How do you distinguish this? What is talent and what is skill? Come on.
Man, talent is a thing which comes from the inner personality, and
Excellent, Devashish.
skill is something which which someone may acquire with practice.
Very good,
It
very
is
good.
not necessary that she is not better in that, but with practice and time, he may get very fast learning.
Very good, Devashish. You have made my job very easy. So I want you to understand that. So all of us do have talent. So talent, when the talent adds up, or when the talent becomes fruitful, only if you add some skill to that. So I just want to go to the next slide, so that you can understand. So these are all so sense of commitment, fighting spirit, professionalism, being determined. So you can connect all these things to our cricket team. Physical fitness, patriotic, team spirit, leadership qualities, responsibility, communication, ability to work under pressure, decision making, time management, self motivation, conflict resolution, leadership, adaptability. So, all these you can name it as skills, because you need to cultivate, you need to get trained, you need to be prepared that I am going to learn this. So, like that, presentation is also a skill. This is what I want you to understand. Presentation will not come just like that. Even though you have the talent, you're see, how do you get your oratory skills out? Only if you have a good practice, only if you speak as many times, only if you are a good reader. So for acquiring this skill, so we should have four skills in a balanced manner. So what are the four skills of English? What are the four skills of English? Not only English, of any language. What are the
Reading, writing, listening.
very good, Jyoti.
Reading.
Reading, writing, listening, and speaking. LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So we should have all these skills in a balanced manner. So even if you want to be a best presenter, so it cannot come by one night. So you should have patience to listen well. So you should be a keen listener. Listen to as many sources, good speeches, TED talks, this that, and you should also be a good reader. So read as much as possible. Good books, personality development books. Other than, see, whatever you study, there is difference between studying and reading. Studying, you do it for retaining it in order to write it in your exam. But reading, you do in order to improve your knowledge. So if you want to be an effective presenter, first of all, you should be a good listener. You should be a good reader. These two things will definitely add value for your presentation. So with this, I'm just proceeding with the next thing. So what is presentation? What is a skill we have discussed? So presentation is nothing but just giving a gift to someone. Suppose you think that you are, you love a person very much. Okay, so maybe it is your mother, or it is your girlfriend, or it is your boyfriend, whomever. So you want to give a gift to them. So will you please see how do you give the gift? You speak cajoling words. If it happens to be a girlfriend or boyfriend, you speak so much lovely words. Yes, take it. I have bought it for you. I think you like this. You have so much emotional bound, isn't it? So that is, so you will not throw the gift on the face and say, I have spent so much for this. You will not do that, isn't it? So like that, presentation is also an art. It is a skill. It is something which is aesthetic. So we, as a presenter, we should take care of this. So presentation is nothing but giving gift to someone, giving our sharing our knowledge to someone. So oral presentation can be of two types: extempore presentation and prepared presentation. So what do you mean by extempore presentation? What is meant by extempore? Anyone?
I'm an impromptu presentation. Like you are
Very good.
given the topic suddenly and you have to deliver it within a minute.
Yes, it is called as extempore. So there are two types of presentation. One is extempore, where on the spot you may be asked to speak something. So maybe it is an abstract topic, it is a known controversial topic, or it is a factual topic. So this is an impromptu speech. So without any preparation. And the other one is prepared presentation. So now I'm going to give you some idea on how to proceed with extempore as well as prepared presentation. So, in order to excel, in order to do well in extempore presentation, you require sufficient practice. So, practice in terms of what? Just now I told you, you should be proficient in listening as well as reading. These are the input that you derive, which will sharpen you, which will make you as a best presenter. Practice. So, on the other hand, obviously, if you practice well, boldness, confidence, and background knowledge and practice goes with one another. So if you have practice, you will have background knowledge. Obviously, you feel confident and bold. And even if it is an impromptu speech, even if you are asked to talk during the, without any preparation, you will do. So this is a thing for impromptu. So the first thing is updating. That's what I was telling you, isn't it? Updating. How will you update? Reading as many books. So referring to news articles, referring to things going on around you. So it's not that always see. Of course, we all people are very much addicted to Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, this all these things. So I'm not telling it is wrong. You have to, but try to. So even if you spend some time in WhatsApp, try to gather some productive information which will be applicable for your applicable to enhance your skills. So updation is the need of the hour. Every time we have to keep on updating because world is changing very much, isn't it? So updation is very important. So prepared presentations. So why do we give prepared presentations? What is the purpose of prepared presentations? Can anyone tell me? So I'm teaching you to give effective presentation. Why do you need to give effective presentation? What will be the situation? What are the circumstances that will make you to give a presentation? Tell me. In which situations? Maybe in the job, as a teacher, as a student, or maybe in the job. What situations will prompt you to give presentation? Okay, let me differentiate it. As a student, tell me, Devashish.
Ma'am, the thing which we are presenting, it may get much importance. That's why we give better presentations.
No, I didn't get you. I didn't get you. In which situation you will be asked to give presentation? Yes,
ma'am, in interview. Ma'am,
very good.
in interview, in training.
In training, in interview, you have to speak, isn't it? Apart from that, as a student, when will you speak? When will you be asked to give presentation?
Ma'am, during our research project, our summer training
Very
project,
good. That's
and
what I'm expecting. During your project, during your research project, you may need to review 1, review 2, review 3, or final review. So you have to give presentations. So on the other hand, in an interview, you need to give presentations. So finally, if you want to give a speech in a conference, so of course, I don't know whether you have already made paper presentations. Our students were very like they used to register themselves in very international conferences. They give speeches there, and they have won many prizes also. So if you want to give presentation in a conference or in a webinar, in a seminar or whatever, so you have to prepare yourself for that. For that, you require presentation skills. So I'm going to discuss these aspects. How can you prepare a paper and all those things? So objectives of presentation. So most of the times I was telling you, as a student, you may be giving your project review, or in interview you may be speaking, or in a conference you will be speaking. But as of your career, so once you settle in job, so there are many situations that will force you to give or prompt you to give presentations. So if you want to make any important decision regarding company policies, company protocols, or whatever, you need to, if you need to take a decision, you have to give presentation and then come to the consensus, finally arrive at the decision. Or if you are training your employees, training your subordinates, or training some other people, during that time you have to give presentations. So, or if you want to select some product, select some strategy, select some service, you need to get the consent, approval of all the members, board members, or whoever is present in the company. During that time, you need to give a presentation. Or so you want to update your employees, you want to teach them some skills, how to use the latest apps or whatever. During that time, you need to give presentation. So or you need to speak about the company's progress. So in most companies, this is a mundane thing, like every 6 months they meet and discuss progress, what steps need to be taken, what steps already have they have done, and they used to have a meeting in order to report the progress the presentations were made. So first, so I just made it very clear to you what are the situations that prompts you to give presentation. As a student, or if you're in a job. So for decision making, for to report the progress, there are many instances where you need to give a presentation. So now you just imagine that you are going to give a presentation in a conference. So what is the first step? So if you come across a brochure which states that there is a conference in so and so university, these days everything is online, right? So it is a best chance for you to give a presentation in a conference, because if you give a presentation and get a certificate and register the same in your resume, that will definitely add value to you. So because you know very well that Robert Frost road not taken. So all of them travel in the same road. All of them have the same BBA degree or MBA degree. What is something great about you? You should show that your path is different. You are extremely, and you know that USP, unique selling price. So of course you would have known that unique selling. What is your unique selling price? I have done these many things apart from a degree everyone gets. Everyone has 90 percentage or 80 percentage. No one is bothered whether you are getting 80 or 90 or 95. So whatever minimum percentage if you get, that is enough. But you have to develop yourself related to other skills. That is the need of the hour. Today you have to develop so many skills. So for that, if you are registering for a conference, so what are the things that you can do? First of all, you have to prepare a paper. So how will you prepare a paper? So you can see the conference brochure. You can go to the main theme of the conference. So there will be many sub themes in the brochure. You can select a topic with the help of your teachers. You can select a topic. So after selecting the topic, the second thing you have to do is collection of materials. So obviously, so what are all the sources to collect materials? What are the sources to collect your materials? Come on, tell me. So I want to know some information. Where can I go for information?
Internet.
Internet.
Magazine.
Magazines, books,
Newspapers.
YouTube videos, gathering information from experienced people. So students, I have a question to you. As soon as I Google it, I'm going to get so much. So because we are living in a information era, information age. So do you say that whatever information I get from the net is authentic? Can I just consider
No,
that
ma'am.
for my research paper or
No,
for my
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
presentation? Can I give the entire 10 or 15 websites links, and these are the links I have referred? There ends my job for my paper. Is it okay? Is it okay? No, no.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
So we have to refer internet sources. Along with that, we should also go for some valuable books. That is very much required, because once you submit a research paper or speak in a conference, they will see the references list. So, oh, the student has referred from net, copy pasted, taken something and pasted it. That's all. There is nothing great about you. So you have to put some journal names, conference proceedings, so many things. You can even refer from a newspaper or from a speech. So many things you can refer. Even TV program. So some program which is relevant to your research topic, you can quote from that. That's what I used to tell my scholars. So if it is very much applicable to you, suppose you are, say, one of my scholars is working on literature along with psychology. So she was actually listening to a counseling sort of speech in TV. So I told that I have sent her the link and I told her to incorporate those ideas and give it as a reference, so that it will add value to your paper or research or conference. So that is what, these are all the sources that you can collect your material. After collecting your material, what is your next step? So books or anything, conference proceedings, internet, TV programs, as I told you. Oh, my screen is sharing or not?
No, it's not sharing.
No,
Please
ma'am.
reshare.
I'm
Please
sorry.
reshare.
I'm sorry. It has. So I think you are now. It is sharing.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So books. Books. You can collect the sources, conference proceedings, and then internet, TV programs and films, or from your experienced teachers, journals. You can refer many standard journals. So after all these things, you start reading You start reading related to the topic, then prepare a rough draft, and finally make it a. So after two or three times you give it for editing, you correct it, and finally you prepare a paper. After preparing a paper, you prepare an abstract. So now my question is, what do you mean by an abstract? What is an abstract? Come on. Have you come across this word, abstract? What do you mean by an abstract?
Yes, MBA second year
It
student.
is basically the ma'am. Is it
Jyoti? Yes, Jyoti.
ma'am? It is basically the gist of your whole paper or your whole presentation. It tells what the paper or presentation is exactly about.
Excellent, Jyoti. So abstract is 1/10 of your paper. Suppose you are submitting a paper of 1000 words or 1500 words, you write an abstract of 150 words. 1/10 of your paper is an abstract. So generally, if you're giving a presentation in a conference, so first thing is they'll ask you to send an abstract. So without preparing the paper, you cannot send an abstract. So see, the abstract speaks about what you have dealt in the paper. So this is my research. These are the things that I have used. What materials you have used. So what is your research question and what are your findings? So and how that findings are relevant to the society or relevant, how far it is applicable. So these things you state in very shortly in the abstract. So you send the abstract, and once your abstract is accepted, then you will be permitted to give presentation. So now, how will you stand in front of audience and give presentation? This is what we are going to discuss. So your paper should have introduction, description, conclusion, so abstract and table of contents. So you should also include references list, references from where you have referred the sources. So now, so you are going to stand in front of audience, address the audience, stand in front of or virtually or whatever. How will you give your effective? Because we are discussing not presentation. Please be reminded that it is effective presentation. So what are the things that you need to follow while you're giving an effective presentation? So now I want you to think on two angles. The first thing is conference presentation. The second thing is, so while you are already selected in a company. So you're going to some other company and your company people have asked to represent your company and give a presentation to other company people, or you are giving a presentation within your company, something like that. So during these situations, as a student, a student going for a conference, or as a job holder, how you will be giving presentations, you have to consider these 5 factors. So all you have to question yourself: who, where, when, what, why, how. So to whom am I going to give presentation? Who are my audience? So what is their age? So are they small kids? Are they graduates? Are they postgraduates? Or am I addressing research scholars? To whom am I going to give presentation? Am I giving presentation only to people not that much educated? Because you can tailor made your presentation based on the requirement of the audience. So where am I going to going to give presentation? Am I going to present it virtual platform or in person? So in which particular place? So how am I going to travel and all these things? Where, when? So this is very crucial, because at what timings. So if because pre-lunch and post-lunch sessions are always very what can I say, it demands a lot, isn't it? So you should be smart enough to attract or to see to that the audience are not diverted. You can involve them in some activities. You have to plan accordingly. So when is very crucial. Where no, when where, why. So why am I going to give presentation? So what is the purpose? I am going to train them in this particular aspect, or I'm going to educate them, or I'm going to have them develop proficiency in so and so subject. That is what I'm giving presentation. So you should, it is just like self exploration. You should answer yourself all these things before giving presentation. So where, when, and how, finally. So what is how? I have not given how in the slide, but I have to include that. So I want you to answer. So how am I going to give presentation? What is the answer to this? I want someone of you to answer. So when, where, what, why we discussed. How? This is also very important because you should, as a presenter, you should know what is my mode of presentation. Please tell me, how am I going to give presentation? What is that you should be prepared related to this question as a presenter? I think, hope I am clear to you. Am I clear to you, students? Are you able to get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how? What is the answer for how? Please tell me. See, this how is the element which makes you to prepare the material for the presentation. Am I going to project them a PPT and then just speak to them? Or am I going to interact them? Or am I going to introduce some videos or animations? Or what different activities am I going to conduct? These things as a presenter, you should be predetermined. So I also told you about the time of the day. Based on that, you have to prepare your presentation. Suppose it is afternoon after lunch, so you cannot keep on lecturing them, isn't it? You can involve them in some activities. Based on that, you can deliver them some points which you want to deliver. So this is how you, as a presenter, you have to decide before making presentation. So this is audience. So who are my audience? This is what you have to determine. So whether they are small children or they are graduates, or I have to I have to analyze the audience based on their age, gender, and their marriage status. I also want to decide, I also want to have in mind what is the geographic location of that place. So what is their education, what is their career, psychological factors also I have to analyze. So you have, while as a presenter, I should observe the body language of the audience while I am giving presentation. Of course, that is not possible now in this virtual platform. Because see, there is a small sign that if the or if any one of the audience or some, or if they touch their ear, it means that they are getting bored, or they just, or if they turn their foot towards the door, okay, towards the door, I mean towards the direction of the door, it means that they want to leave. These are all the simple psychological implications. As a presenter, we should understand, so that immediately we should be cautious enough to see to that our presentation reaches the audience, our presentation is interesting enough. So presenter has to make a smart guess as what is likely to motivate the audience and make them sit up and take notice of the presentation. So his language, anecdotes, examples must be audience centric. Based on the audience, you have to decide what sort of stories can I tell, what sort of examples I can include. So I told you about how, isn't it? So this is what answers how, mediums of presentation. So students, I want you to tell me what is this picture. Let me see who tells what this picture is about. What is this picture, students? Can anyone trace what it is? Okay, so we don't have time. I just want to tell. See, this is OHP sheets. In those days, when I started my career before 2 decades, we used to write everything in OHP marker and project it. So this is the slide, OHP slide projector. Hope you might have not known this. We used to keep this OHP sheets on that, and we used to project it on the wall, and we used to give presentations, no PPT and all. Okay, but now the technology has come. So now we used to teach, I mean, give presentations with the help of projectors. We used to prepare PPTs, or we can use boards, green board, white board, or we can use pen drive, CD, anything. We can have the content in our pen drive, CD. So, or what sort of activity am I planning while preparing PPTs? So, students, so do you think that this PPT is fine? Whatever I have written, blue background and black letters, what do you feel? Is it fine? Is it visible? What is your
No,
opinion,
ma'am.
students?
No, ma'am.
It is
Visible,
not
ma'am.
very good. So you are very smart students, because while preparing PPT as a presenter, we should understand that the background should be opposite. So light background with dark letters or vice versa. On in the same way, it should not be like paragraphs. Only three phrases, 3 points, and even that points no with phrases. Remove all sort of prepositions, conjunctions, articles, all these things you remove. Just give phrases. So as a presenter, you should be see. Don't read. If you read from the screen, you are insulting the audience as if they don't know to read and you are reading. So I have seen most of the students simply reading something whichever they have projected in PPT. Don't read it. You have to project the PPT and you should be smart enough to know what are the points displayed there. Try to address the audience. Never show your back to the audience. If you show to your back to the audience, you are failing yourself as a presenter. Okay, so these are the things you can use some animation videos. So these days, see, the latest tool in presentation I am teaching my students. I don't know how many of you have idea about the Prezi.com, Prezi, Canva. These are all very, very interesting tools to give presentation. So I can share you the link later on. So like recently Sundar Pichai was giving his presentation with advanced tools. So one should be smart enough to know what are the latest tools in presentation. Even PPT has become old. It has become remote. I mean, it is becoming remote. Okay, so as a presenter, you should know what are the advanced tools. How can you make use of technology while giving presentations? And you also should be cautious about the font size. So don't give font size 12, 14 while you're giving PPTs. So it should be of opposite color, and so your slides should not be too much more than it should be 15 or something like that. Minimum information. So the next thing is about handouts. So can anyone tell me what is mean by a handout in presentation? What is meant by a handout in presentation? Anyone? Any guess? Okay, so handouts are nothing but, suppose you are teaching them see, most of the management students are here. Suppose you are speaking something about some concept in your management. So like you can give them some small case study. So that case study you are printing it and giving it as a handout. Or if you are handling something virtually, you can put it in the chat box. So these are called as handouts. Handouts maybe, suppose if a person from biology background, so he can give some jargon words or some words which are not understandable to the audience. So these handouts can be distributed in advance before giving presentation, so that at any point the presenter should not be blamed that he or she is not clear. Always clarity is the utmost important element for a presentation. So in the handouts, you can give case studies, discussion and evaluation forms, or graphs and charts representing your statistical information, or glossary of technical terms used. So these ones you can include in your handouts. So apart from that, key factor requirements. So your appearance is very, very important in your presentation, your body language and voice modulation. So you have to practice, practice, practice. So what do you mean by voice modulation, students? What do you mean by voice modulation? Come on. What do you mean by voice
And
modulation?
it should be loud and clear, and it
Ma'am,
should be
like
boisterous also.
Ma'am, changing your voice tone according to the
Very good.
need, like sometime polite, sometime emphasizing
Excellent.
any particular
Very
word.
good, Jyoti. Well said, well said. So, rising, falling of tone, intonation, you have to practice. See, of course, all of us have mobile phones. So, open the audio file, record your voice. So, you assure yourself where I have to keep pass, where I have to raise my voice, where I have to put my voice down. So, how do I need to speak? So, even though you are experienced at least 5 times, 6 times, you have to record your video, stand in front of a mirror, or just switch on the video button and see how is your body language. So if you give your presentation just holding your hands like this, see, no one will be interested. All cross positions are wrong, whether it is sitting posture or standing posture, all cross positions are wrong. So always have open palm while you are giving your presentation. So these things you can record your video and you can check yourself, you can assure yourself, how am I going to appear to the audience? So this is very important. Have a very professional and formal dress for presentation. So you can see here, these are something formal attire. So trimmed haircut. So students, are you able to see my screen? Students, are you
Yes,
able
ma'am.
to see my screen? Yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
clean shaved on that day of presentation, a feel of confidence, formal dress, correct body posture. This is very important. So don't lean on anything in front of you, which shows that you lack confidence. So practice your voice. So techniques to remember presentation material. So since it's already 3:49, I'm just going to go with this. So students, I just want to introduce you to this technique. So how many of you know this mnemonics technique? Have you heard this, students? Mnemonics technique? How to remember the content of the presentation. Students, I have a question for you. See, your teacher appears in front of you, and so she or he simply reads something from the book. I have a paper, I'm just reading it out, and I say class is over, you okay, you can go. Do you like that teacher, or a teacher who speaks spontaneously, who has some mastery over the subject, who speaks spontaneously? Which teacher do you like? The first one or the second one?
Second one, ma'am.
Obviously,
Second
second
one.
one. That's what. So, as a presenter, you also should avoid referring to, should avoid reading from screen. I've seen many of them just read from the open the PPT, read from the screen. That is not presentation. So, what you have to do, you have to commit yourself to memory. So there are many things. How can you recall it? How can you connect it? So this is what is mnemonics technique. See, I have displayed a few items here. So handsome man or handsome boy, rose, bike, house, refrigerator, something like that. So now I'm coming to I'm just without seeing the screen. Can you? I'll just stop this sharing. So can anyone tell me what are the things, items that I have noted there? Can you recall that in
Ma'am,
order?
TV.
In order, in order.
TV.
TV,
Book.
book,
Beautiful girl.
beautiful girl.
Beautiful girl.
Yes,
Sofa.
Handsome sofa.
handsome, not handsome sofa. It is just sofa and handsome
Handsome
man.
man,
Yes,
rose,
rose,
House. Table.
house, table,
bike,
House table.
Remote.
remote. So, but I have seen that all of you have not recalled the things in order. For that only, so if you start visualizing it and try to connect it, you can connect it in the form of a story, in the form of an incident, you can recall it. So this is the technique that one should follow. See, if you just stand in front of audience and speak spontaneously, audience will think, "Oh, so well he has prepared, he has good knowledge about the subject." On the other hand, you just see the book, see the paper or something, so you will not sound that good, isn't it? So I'm going to share you the next slide. So you can see here how I am connecting this. So the same list, I have put it in the form of pictures. So for your presentation, you can also imagine, connect this mnemonics technique. So like handsome man, he has rose in his pocket. He has rose in his pocket. So he rides the bike. Students, are you able to follow me? Or able to listen me? Or
Yes,
able
ma'am.
to listen?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So
yes,
okay. So handsome man has a rose in his pocket. He rides the bike and he keeps the bike outside the house. He enters inside the house. As soon as he goes inside the house, he goes to the refrigerator, takes a juice bottle, and takes a juice bottle. So if he can see a table on the top of table there is a God's photo, something, God's photo, and the God's photo is garlanded. So, and there are a few books lying on the table. So now, with the juice bottle in his hand, he sits on the sofa and takes the remote and switches on the TV. So now he sees a beautiful girl and a picture of the girl. And now suddenly he notes that in his house entrance also the same girl is standing with a rose in his, with the rose in, the beautiful girl is standing in front of his house. Now he was shocked to see that girl. Okay, see, this. I don't know whether I'm sounding good or not, but what I want you to understand is use mnemonics technique in order to retain your content of the presentation, so that you will sound very spontaneous, very natural. So connect it by visualizing it in the as pictures. Or there is another method also, you can use acronym technique is nothing but, so just if the first point, second point, you have 10 points to tell. The first point, first word, okay, the first point, the first word, findings of the study state that. So now take the letter F from that. The second point starts with enormous candidate, something like that. So now take the letter E from that. Findings, enormous, FE. So like that, you frame a letter. You frame a word. Now, even when you are traveling or anywhere, you can just make a mental rehearsal. Okay, FEANOT. This is what my word is. This is what I'm going to speak. So for F is findings. So what examples I need to give? What is that I have to connect to this? So E is enormous. So what are the things I need to speak related to this? So like that, FEAN. So towards the entire word you frame and you just mentally rehearse yourself, so that you will be so spontaneous and natural while giving presentation, and you need not rely on any resources, any written resources or any book or anything. So this is a quality required by any presenter. Okay, this is what I just want to tell. So how will you open a presentation? You can open a presentation, see, standing in front of audience, so you cannot tell, okay, good morning all of you, now I'm going to speak on this. So that will be a very monotonous sort of thing. You can open a presentation in 5 different ways. The first thing is you can convey a message, or you can ask the audience some questions on the subject. Okay, I'm going to teach them something related to cross cultural communication. Okay, what is your opinion on cross cultural communication? What do you understand by that? Is it necessary? Do everyone need to learn about that? You can throw as many questions to the audience, elicit response, so that even though they are very dull, they will sit straight and they will listen to you. You can ask some questions, you can convey the central message, or you can start it with a quotation. Okay, so suppose I'm speaking on global warming. Okay, so there is a beautiful quotation by Mahatma Gandhi. Earth can satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. So this is a very wonderful quotation by Gandhi ji, which you can connect to your presentation. So you can start your presentation with the central message, questions, or a quotation, or you can see here, or you can narrate some statistics related to your presentation. You know, nearly 40% of the people in India have taken the booster dose of corona vaccine. Anything like that. Some statistics, 40%, 50%. This will make the audience listen to you, isn't it? So these are the ways that you can start a presentation. So, and this what question or statistics or a quotation, can show them some interesting pictures if it is a virtual presentation or even physical presentation. So then audience will think, what is that? What is the presenter is going to tell me based on this picture? So these are all some sort. See, always see to that. Don't go away from the stream. It should be connected to your topic of presentation. This you should remember. Just because I'm going to introduce something, you cannot go away from the topic. Collect those things which are relevant to your topic. some interesting pictures. So you have to focus on accent, intonation, and phonetics. This is what I just want to tell you. So, students, how many of you know this talk time calculator? Have you heard this talk time calculator online? So there is one tool available. So talk time calculator, you can just browse it off. So like how much time do you speak? It calculates. Okay. So now I have a question for you. How many words as a presenter you are expected to speak for a minute? How many words? Because you should not be too fast, too slow. And it also depends once again on the level of understanding of the audience, right? So on an average, how many words can you speak for 1 minute? Anyone? Any response? Any response? So 130 to 150. If you think that your audience are all educated enough and they can understand you. So these things as a presenter, you should be prepared well in advance. Record voice and practice. Similarly to opening the presentation, you can close the presentation by inviting a question or summarizing whatever you have spoken, or you can give them some statistics once again, or the central message. But without fail, we have to thank the audience because they have patiently listened to you. So students, I'm going to play a short video now. You're going to watch that video, and based on that, I'm going to ask you a few questions. So I want you to answer that. So just a minute, please. Students, is the voice audible to you? Is this audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope you would have watched the video. So I have a few questions for you. So you would have very well distinguished between the good presentation and bad presentation. So what are all the good qualities of a presentation from the video that you have learned? The first thing as a presenter, what you have to do, you have to ensure the materials, whatever you wanted to carry to the presentation. Maybe it is your laptop, charger, or whatever the content, and all these things. And see to that, how is the room? So the ventilation of the room, all these things as a presenter, you have to take care. And the second thing is greeting the audience. So third thing is you should be very dynamic, your appearance, all this formal dress, and interactive to the audience. It is not at all a one way mode. It's not at all a lecturing mode. And then you should keep on moving and not in a place. And then you should always have your palm up. Don't see. And I have a question for you students, like, so how should be your shoulder level while you are in an interview or as a presenter? How should be your shoulder level? Should it raise above or fall down? How should be your shoulder level? I want you to answer.
Raise.
It should raise, so it should go up like this.
Raise.
No, not at all. So if you raise your shoulder level, it means you are telling to the opposite person that you are very anxious. Your emotional level is not proper. Okay. So on the other hand, if you put your shoulder down, it means that you are not confident about yourself. Yourself. You're not. You lack confidence. Always your shoulder level should be parallel to the ground level. Always maintain that. This is one of the professional etiquette that every professionals need to learn if you are addressing the interview or if you are as a presenter. And the next thing, as a presenter, you should also have humor here and there. You need not be serious, isn't it? Because these days n number of YouTube videos, n number of courses are being floated, and as a presenter, if they are spending time and valuing your presentation, you should have something new to tell them. They should feel awestruck, because we are speaking about effective presentation. Oh, very well. On the other day, that boy from so and so university, he has spoken, he has given a presentation. Even still I remember the way that he has spoken, the handouts that he was given. Even now I remember. Even now I preserve, I use it. This is how you should create an impact. You have to create an influence in the minds of the audience as a presenter. Meticulously you have to plan for that. And then, so as a presenter, you should have some mastery, some idea, depth idea about the topic that you're giving presentation. So okay, at times you may not have idea. What will you do? So if some audience raises a question on the topic that you have prepared, but you don't have idea on that, what will you do during that situation? You cannot tell a wrong answer, right? What you have to do? So will you tell that I don't have idea on that, or what should you do? How should you address that audience as a presenter? Come on. Students, how should you address the audience?
Ma'am, like if they are, ma'am, if they are a regular audience, so one thing we can do, sir, like we can say, sorry, right now at the moment I don't have the answer of your question, but I'll search and try to provide it to you by tomorrow. So if it is a regular audience, we can do that.
Excellent. Very good, Jyoti. Well said. So as a presenter, it is your duty to ensure that the doubt is clarified. Your job as a presenter will not end only at that moment. Even after the presentation, so if you are unable to clear the doubt, so you can tell them, thank you very much. I have referred this topic in well in depth, but I'm not very sure about the answer. So you can get their mail ID or number or anything and see to that the communication reaches them with the proper answer. As a presenter, you should ensure that your job will not end only in that place, right? So on the other hand, if there is someone who speaks controversial, whatever you say is wrong, this theorem is inappropriate, whatever you spoke is extremely wrong, how will you tackle that audience and tackle that person? How will you address that person? You have prepared well and you are giving a presentation and someone opposes. What nonsense you are speaking. It is quite wrong. Where did you refer? Someone is asking like that. How will you address that person?
One thing we can do is that we can provide them the facts and figure, because obviously when we prepare presentation, we have a basic or a deep analysis about the topic. So we can
Very
show
good,
them
Jyoti.
the facts and figure that these are
Excellent.
accurate information what I'm speaking. And the second is we can also address that, okay, might be you are right, but we can have a discussion over it in a peaceful way and a healthy argument it can be converted into, rather than making it a conflict or a controversial.
Excellent, Jyoti. So you have really answered, replied it in a good manner, but we cannot, so you cannot tell the audience to speak after the session. You can see the first thing is you should be very patient in handling the audience. So you should, as a presenter, you should never lose your temper. So you should be addressing them in a very patient manner. So if someone opposes it, you have, as Jyoti said, you have to substantiate yourself that you have prepared well after much reference. If not, so you can tell them that you will refer once again and then communicate with them. That may be the right approach. So this is how I think I have. You, if you have any questions, you can ask me related to giving presentation. So because it's already time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful and interesting lecture. Ma'am, you have almost covered each and every aspect of management skill, whether it is a communication skill or research paper. What all things we need to follow for effective presentation, also tips for making presentation and PPT, and what all key factors that are required to give a good presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful lecture. Now I would request students, if they have any query, or if they want any question, if they need to ask any question from ma'am, they can ask. Students? Or if they want to share any, want to share their thoughts, any student? Yes, Jyoti, anyone?
Dear students, you may raise
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hand and you can share your ideas, opinion, questions, queries one by one.
Yes, Jyoti.
Ma'am, I prepared the key points of today's presentation. I can share that.
Yes.
Sure, please.
So first of all, I'd like to wish a good afternoon to everyone present here, all the teachers, ma'am and HOD sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share the key points from the ma'am's lecture. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Sunitha Venugopal, Senior Assistant of Professor, Department of English, School of Social Science and Language, Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. I welcome you, ma'am, to the Humanities and Management Science Department, Madan Mohan Malaviya, University of Technology, Gorakhpur. Thank you, ma'am. We are really highly grateful and blessed that you enlightened us with your knowledge on the topic effective presentation for professional success. The lesson given by you is indeed very important to us, as it is much needed in the present era and especially for the overall development of a student. The key points which I would like to state from your presentation are that the basic thing to deliver an effective presentation is to engage your audience. Your presentation should be evergreen and everlasting. Talent is fruitful when supplemented by skill. So skill development should be focused by every individual. LSRW, that is reading, speaking, listening, writing. Skill is the basic skills of any language to master. Listening is key to all. Extempore is a kind of presentation which required a lot of practice, boldness, and background knowledge. Presentation is needed in every field, especially for a professional, and either it be a student or a job taker. Everything one has in everything has a USP. So as a individual or as a student, you also need to develop your USP to stand out in the crowd. Process of preparing a presentation was given, it was delivered by you, and that was indeed very effective to learn us the 5W of effective presentation, that is whom, where, when, what, and why. Plus an extra question that is to be asked is how to deliver a presentation, which helps in preparing the material for your presentation. Everything in presentation must be audience centric, that is the audience is the king of your presentation. If the audience loves your presentation, you are successful. If the audience doesn't, you are not able to deliver a better presentation. Handout appearance, voice modulation, minute techniques is effective to deliver your presentation so that it can be engaging and outreaching. And the last but not the least is your opening and closing should be effective. Opening and closing can be done by asking questions, quotation, anecdote, and storytelling. So thank you, ma'am, for providing us with the basic knowledge of the presentation with a professional touch to it. And the video you showed was very beneficial as it provided to do and not to do in a presentation. By this, I'd like to end up my keynote session, and thank you, ma'am, for coming to our university and providing us a web lecture. And thank you, HOD sir, for giving us such a valuable session, and ma'am for your cooperation and support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. You have summarized it very well. Okay, so student, do you have any queries?
I have to say something. You summarized very well, but only thing that you didn't switched on your video. So this is something that may lose some marks in your presentation. And in any talk on presentation, this mistake is not excusable. But still,
I'm sorry, sir.
Any student who wish to comment or who wish to share his or her opinion, welcome.
I should say thanks to Jyoti Jaiswal for such a wonderful feedback. So
she was nice. I suppose she was very nice, but only thing that she should have unmute and switched on her video at the beginning.
I suppose you have summed up entire thing, and I appreciate your grasping skills, and you also look very cute and smart. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And sorry, sir. Actually, I just forgot to switch on the video. I thought I had on it. So sorry for that mistake. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Actually, she's at home. That's why.
Had you not switched on your video, you might have missed a very good compliment that you received right now from the resource person of the day. You got the point. So why to hide your face? It may invite some complimentary remarks from your resource person or the speakers of the day. Okay, any other student wish to tell something?
Yes, Devashish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, any other student?
Devashish has been very interactive, but why is not speaking anything? I don't know.
Yes, he was there, and one more student. I don't remember the name right now. I think Ashutosh.
Yes, he was the first to interact.
Yes. Is Sneha there? Sneha Tripathi from BBA? Yes, student. Please speak something.
What you felt, what you realized. Ma'am, I wish to tell that there was a request from student side. I think 3-4 days back. They conveyed a message to me that they wanted to have some resource person on PowerPoint presentation and something. So that part, when you were dealing with PPTs and OHPs and all that, I found it quite relevant to their demand. That's what they have solicited, and it was supplied. We do have presentation skills in we have a paper, CBM, Communication for Business and Management. So there we have presentation skills as the part of theory as well as the part of practical part. So that way this lecture has been highly relevant. And above board, I wish to organize and host your talk way back. Even I planned in the last semester, but somehow due to certain guidelines from the examination and sudden change in the COVID scenario and immediate, action of other things, we couldn't host. But it has really been a long cherished desire to invite you here over our forum. And not only this professional front, I extend you, Gorakhpur is a very, very good place to visit. And here we have nearby Kushinagar, where Gautam Buddha breathed his last. So it's an open invitation to you and your family members that as and when you get time, we try to visit this part of India. We would love to host you as our guest at the department at our university campus, and our department is very, very welcoming, and my students are also very good. Once you will visit our department, you will realize that what kind of how interactive they all are. Sometime in online they have certain reservation and all that, and sometimes they feel that why to speak, but you will find them quite interactive once you will come to face. So, and it has been really nice to have you on our forum. Uh, you are a great speaker and above board, greater human being. Very few people of, that grace that you maintain are in my touch. Very, very little. So that way you are very precious resource person for us, and we salute your gesture anytime we approach you, and whether you are very busy. I would like to share one thing to my students also, that when we approach this time to Dr. Venugopal, she said that within a few days, by Monday, my students may turn up. So I have very little days to spare, and online education is going on. So if it is possible, we can manage before Monday. And then I said that what will be, yesterday I think only we talked, and I said that what will be if if we organize your talk by tomorrow, means today. Then she readily agreed, and she said that if you are hosting it in afternoon, that will be suiting as in morning, or I'm having some meeting or some sort of engagement. And she did it, she meet it out, and kudos to her professional commitment and gesture that she accepted our invitation in such a short while. And it's before summing up my talk, thank you so much, uh, Dr. Sunitha Venugopal, ma'am. Thanks a lot, and for agreeing to our invitation.
Sir, I too need to say thank you to you for giving me a wonderful opportunity to address your students. Your students are really lovely, so they are responding very well. I really enjoyed and loved to have a session like this. So hope in future we will have this cordial relationship. And I also heartfully wish that you should come to our university. I also invite Khan ma'am. So
Thank
I
you
don't
so
know
much, ma'am.
how to spell your so Kahkasan
Kehkashan.
Kahkashan Khan.
Kehkashan
Kahkashan.
ma'am
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta. So I also invite all of you to our campus. So you will also feel very much enriched, and you will also have a different sort of atmosphere here in Tamil Nadu, and you have many places to visit. So I invite all of you heartfully here. So thank you, sir, for the invitation. I'll definitely see to that I visit your place, and I'll be more privileged to visit your university. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank, thank you so much, ma'am. And now moving further, I would request Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta, sir, for the vote of thanks. Sir.
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Khan, for inviting me. Firstly, I would like to welcome you all in this web lecture. And this web lecture is basically organized by Department of Humanities and Management Science. So this today the day was the day is very fruitful, and we got one of the very renowned speaker, Dr. Sunitha Venugopal. So firstly, I would like to thanks Venugopal ma'am for accepting our invitation to be as a speaker in this web lecture. The topic was effective presentation for professional success. So, so thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and giving your valuable inputs. And students were able to understand each line that were given by you. And then I would like to thanks our head of department, Dr. Sudhir Narayan Singh sir, for arranging the such a good resource person for the students. So he is always working for the welfare of the student and for the department. Then I would like to thanks Dr. Kakasa Khan for hosting the lecture and arranging all the things. Then I would like to thanks all of our faculty members who are directly or indirectly contributed. Then I would like to thank our students who have listened the lecture very carefully, and they have interacted very well, and they I think they have gained much by devoting the less time. So they optimize their time by gaining the knowledge. So with this all, I am winding up my today's vote of thanks. So thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving your valuable time. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And thank you once again, ma'am.
Heartiest thanks.
So with this note, I'm